Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And a very warm welcome to friends old and new to this your church, Paul Christian Spiritualist Church. A great delight to welcome back to our platform today a lovely lady, a friend and a true worker for spirit, Elaine Bevan.
Thank you.
Elaine, pleasure to see you back with us here at Paul. Thank you so much. So without further ado, if I could ask you please for the opening blessing. And I will just turn there we go, right here.
Good morning, all. Lovely to see such wonderful smiles and wonderful energy emanating from all of you. So let's gather that energy together and bring it into a prayerful form in order that we may connect the two worlds together. Divine and creative force that we call God, we offer ourselves for the great work of the spirit world. We know that humanity is in need on many, many levels, and we ask that whatever small purpose we may serve is shown to us, and that our unique and individual talents and skills are put out into the community where they will serve the greatest purpose. Many are not called to be brave or famous, but all of us are called to share the love and the light that emanates from that divine source. And in order to do that, there are times when we may have to step forward, speak out, reach out. And we ask that you enable us to be brave enough to face not only our own trials and tribulations, but those of the world's. We ask too, dear friend, that your healing energy flows around this world at this moment in time, and that those who are lost and lonely, those who have been uprooted, will feel the warmth of your love and protection, and that the fear to some degree will be lessened. We offer your love to those who have to take momentous decisions about future. Therefore, we know that only your wisdom and guidance will guide them aright, and that there is no place in humanity for ego, for greed, for hate. And now, dear friend, let us celebrate that eternal link that each of us has with our forebears. Let us bring together the dimensions that we know as life and the afterlife. And let us feel once more the love that surrounds each one of us from those who have gone before. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Elaine. Absolutely beautiful. And now, if you care to, please join with me in saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thine will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And leave us not when in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you. Come on in. That's all right, that's all right. Don't worry. Just sit. So, we now step into that energy and that time and this moment of our existence where we can exercise our own divine right as healers. For each and every one of us are healers in our own being, our own essence, our own soul's energy. We would normally say, go to where you are drawn. But at this time, we know where our thoughts are drawn, our heart is drawn, our compassion is drawn. So I would invite you to send out your thoughts to these war-torn conditions and exercise that healing compassion on all levels. For the human beings that are suffering, for the animal kingdom that is displaced, for guidance, for illumination, for the decision makers, it matters not. But at this time, our thoughts and energies, and indeed our very own compassion, is pulled so much by these turbulent times that we thought we would never see in our lifetime. But we do. They are here. So as workers for light, we're all being called to action, to send out our thoughts, to bring about reconciliation, to bring about communication, to bring about an end to suffering, to displacement. So during this time, please send out your thoughts, send out that light, because it is a time where light must illuminate the shadows. Divine Father, Mother God, God of our own understanding, we thank you for this ability, this knowledge, and this trust and affirmation in the Spirit and the divine which runs through all things, that we can send out our thoughts, because energy we know follows thought, and in some way we can bring about easement, in some small way we can bring about peace, in some small way we can work on reconciliation. And we know and we trust this through the evidence, the love that you have exercised for us throughout eternity. Amen. I'd now like to hand over to Elaine for her reading and address for today, please. Thank you, my darling.
It's a bit of a startling one today, I have to say. I never cease to be amazed by the spirit world and the understanding of what we need to consider at times of trial and tribulation. And I brought 2 books down with me and spent the night with this old reprobate. Well, no, I better rearrange. Sorry. What I mean is, I was a guest medium last night. I didn't spend the night with him. He was on his own. And I brought
Too
2...
much information. All right.
It's going to get worse from here on in, you know that. I bought 2 books, and funny enough, both had the word forgiveness in the title. And I started to read the first one last night and thought, no, this one's not right. And I went to the second one, and it was the chapter on forgiveness that jumped out at me. So there is a reason why I'm being encouraged to read this particular chapter to you. The latent attribute of forgiveness was brought to the threshold of consciousness when humanity first transgressed the laws of being. The friction, pain and penalty resulting from the violation brought about physical and mental suffering. In its distress, humanity repented the wrong action and recognized the need to be forgiven. Only someone who has reached a state of perfection is free from the ignorance, temptation, and corruption that leads to transgression of natural law. However far along the path towards perfection we may have travelled, unless we have reached the summit, we will still make mistakes. We have our shortcomings and weaknesses, and we will always need to be forgiven for faults, flaws, and offences that characterise our thoughts and actions. Thus, anyone who cannot forgive others breaks the bridge over which they too must inevitably pass. Kindness, sympathetic understanding, charity, love, these are the attributes that prepare the way for forgiveness. As long as we have the need to be forgiven, we must pardon others for their trespasses. It takes an open mind and a kind and generous heart to view the situation through another's eyes, to get another's outlook, perspective, or viewpoint. It is so easy to condemn someone for their iniquities. Let us first analyse the circumstances that led to the wrongdoing, because we are all only human. The cruel despots of hatred and revenge are ever ready to sway the mind in its judgment and to blind the soul from seeing the good there is in people. Let us not stoop to these destructive forces when evil torments us. Sometimes people hurt us intentionally and grievously, and often without any expression of regret. Whether we should overlook and forgive such offences depends upon the circumstances and the motive that is behind the thoughts or actions. We should not be vindictive, for revenge is a boomerang that harms the person who indulges in this destructive force more than it does its intended victim. People who are not content until they get even with their aggressors hold themselves on a low plane, bringing illness to the body, confusion to the mind, and darkness to the soul. Whether to repay injuries by justice or kindness does depend on the nature and the extent of the law's violation. We need to differentiate between 2 types of vindication. The method of revenge expressed in the maxim, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, prevailed when the human race lived in ignorance of its relationship to one another. But as humanity became more intelligent, it gradually developed another method, which is, If a man shall strike you on one cheek, turn the other. One method expresses love, the other hatred. Therefore, we must choose which method to employ in our relationships. Those who harm us by word or deed, and who do so knowingly, are violating natural law to their own detriment. When we are aware of this, then instead of harbouring a grudge against them or desiring revenge, we should realise that the very laws they violate will bring inevitable retribution. Therefore, we need not intensify their punishment. Rather, we should realise that the one who injures or damages does so in ignorance, and such an action should incite our pity. This does not mean that we should look at all harm in this manner. There are some people whose souls are so perverted that they intentionally and deliberately bring injury to others to advance their own purposes. Such individuals should be brought to justice for the deliberate, premeditated evil they cause. However, we cannot hold someone accountable for unavoidable ignorance, since we are all human and to some extent subject to violation of law. However, it is our duty to become as informed as possible regarding the truth about life, to seek knowledge of the laws of our being, and to obey them as much as is possible. Now, to lighten the energy, I will say, first of all, I've got to ask forgiveness, haven't I? Oh, no. I took part in Laurie's Saturday Night Lyceum talk, and in the excitement of the moment, a good old-fashioned Anglo-Saxon word escaped my lips. I was mortified, to say the least, and the fact that it's on camera makes it doubly worse. It's a bit like when I fell over the doorstep and my son had recorded it on the Zoom camera on the doorbell. You can never live it down again. But the interesting thing was we had talked over yesterday, really, about pros and cons, about not forgiveness as a word per se, but about how we react to what happens to us in life. And it's very hard to forgive until we start to examine natural law. And one of the things that we've sort of been discussing is when you realise that every single bit of energy that flows from you, whether mind sent, whether words spoken, whether physical action, every single energy that is in a negative manner has only one way to go. And the book very clearly says it rebounds. Because nature abhors a vacuum, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever we give out has to be filled by the same amount of energy. So if I decide I'm going to give Mrs. Smith a hard time because I don't like her, particularly don't like her new kitchen, or her posh car, or her flower garden, what I am doing is opening my energy field to something negative to come back at me, not from dear old Mrs. Smith, who's blind to my machinations, but from anywhere in the cosmos. If you look at life with that understanding, it makes you very cautious about the very action of your thoughts. And thoughts are pretty jolly hard to control, ladies and gentlemen, because we emotionally react. Our strongest auric field is our aura. Doesn't mean it's the best. We do have a spiritual aura too, but sometimes that is overwhelmed by our emotional response to things and our mental energy arguing our position against someone else's. Now, I'm not talking about the current warfare. All I can think of as a mother and grandmother is the children and the trauma they're going through. But I really do believe that as we give out, so it will return. And those who have made choices, and remember the active word is choices, to behave in an unkind, despotic manner, well, I can only say nature's got a shock in store for them. And that doesn't mean some wonderful man with long hair and flowing beard and long white robes is going to start chucking around thunderbolts. It's because we're using energy in a negative way. Think about little everyday things in your life. How hubby presses a button and doesn't like your Yorkshire puddings. What's the first thing you do? You're up in arms. Oh, my Yorkshire puddings are fine, thank you very much. Or someone pinches your parking space when you're going to Sainsbury's or Safeways or Morrison's. And for a second or two, the blood pounds in your temple and you hope to God they get their car scratched round the next corner. We are emotional beings. We can't help it. But we can. Because the reason we're here at this particular moment in history is to work on behalf of humanity at large. Now you may think that's a very trite statement. I am no angel, hence my swear word on television. But we are here at this point in history because we agreed to be here. Because in our life plan, before we came to this earth, we said, I need a few challenges that will be outside the norm of family life, career structure, whatever. I know, I can see you've got something pretty negative planned at that period in history. I think I need to be there then. I need to learn to deal with this. I need to be there to help others, to support people, to learn to live through that trauma, that pain and that anxiety. And you're all sitting there saying, no, I didn't. I never agreed to that, thank you very much. Who does she think she is? Our life plan is not given to us. We construct it before we come to earth with the divine intelligence that we choose to call God, with our soul group who have agreed to go through these lessons either with us or to test us even further by being particularly obnoxious in this life. We are a collective group of souls throughout this universe. We are not English, Scottish, Irish, or anything else. We are souls. You cannot deny your spiritual birthright. You put your soul in this physical body to give it the hardest possible job. I know you can't tell that I'm 5'9" and about 50 pounds lighter, can you? But that's the spirit me. She just chooses to wear this very difficult squat body. We've come together for a purpose. And I'm even going to go further and say, and your religion does not matter. I don't care what church door you walk in. The divine energy is concerned that you walk into some door where your energy can be used for the greater good. Whether it be the local cafe down the road, or the St. John's Hall, whether it be some charitable food bank, it doesn't matter, but open that door. Give your soul the chance to forgive the world by bringing positive energy. You know, this world has lived through many wars, many trials and tribulations, and I hate to say, but as long as there are human beings on it, it's quite possible it will continue to experience such trauma. So who's going to change it, if not the human beings? Are you going to wait for that thunderbolt to come crashing from the heavens and bring us to a halt? Well, I tell you what, you've got a heck of a long wait, ladies and gentlemen, because we create the world. We have the potential within our individual and collective grasp to change the world. It doesn't mean that you have to run out and offer your life to working in Africa or anywhere else, but it means that wherever you have placed yourself in this life, there is a path for you to follow. So forgive and then get on with the job of healing, of working towards a positive future. For we're just a dot in eternity. and we have a duty and responsibility to all those who are coming after us. When I say let's make this world a better place, I honestly mean it. Thank you for listening.
I'm just going to leave you just for a short moment to take that in, because that was absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Elaine.
I'll pay you later.
Okay. You haven't sailed up to the room yet.
And a good breakfast.
Elaine, absolutely awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We now move on to our piece of music for today, which is Elaine's choice, The Lord's My Shepherd. If you wish to sing along, please do. If you wish to hum along, please do. Whatever. All right. So, before I hand over to Elaine for a demonstration of evidential mediumship, two things we'd ask of you. Firstly, if you've not already done so, please ensure the phones are off. Secondly, should Elaine come to you, a nice clear response with a yes or a no. This is a two-way conversation, remember that please. So without further ado, young lady.
Thank you.
That's okay.
Actually, it's very interesting. As I say, I stayed overnight. And once we started talking, what was so wonderful was when you share thoughts and energies with like minds, There's a real connection. And I believe when we start our spiritual path, we are seeking that connection constantly, aren't we? And it doesn't matter how ugly the counterpart is. It's the fact that the mind, I was saying. All right, okay. Can I come to the lady and gentleman sat at the back, please? Okay, thank you. I'm very aware of a lady standing between the two of you, so I don't know who she belongs to just yet. She said err on the side of caution. So I feel I might push the energy more to the lady, but please listen, sir. As she connects with me, I know she's taller than me. I'm 4'9", you can't get much shorter than that. But she's not tall. I'd say you might exceed her by about an inch, but there isn't much in it. But what draws me very much to the connection between the two of you is the smile. Now, I know we all facially look similar to our family, but your smile is like hers superimposed. And I know that when she smiles, it's from the heart. There's no, let's be polite and grin. It's, you have really welcomed me. You've made me feel good. And this lady, when I say she was big-hearted, that was a practical description of her. I don't believe that anything that she could do for you would ever be too much trouble. Do you understand this lady? And I'm on a blood vibration, a relation here, aren't I? I can't say mother yet because she's still standing too far back. Thank you. She just said I was more than a mother, I was a friend. Would you understand that?
Yes.
So, because, thank you, darling. I know I love my mum to bits, and she's over there, but I can't say we were friends. Do you know what I mean? I was a typical daughter. But this lady, whoever she mothered, in whatever capacity, she liked them as an individual too. Now, I know as she's around you, I feel you've had thoughts about some changes in your life at the moment, which involves the young man that you've stolen and brought with you today. Would you understand that on the spiritual pathway, both of you have been thinking slightly different perspectives? Can I put it that way to you?
Yes.
Thank you. She's laughing. She said she's saying yes, and he's going, I haven't been thinking about it. I know exactly what I'm doing. Would you understand that, please?
Think and tell it.
Okay, because I feel very much you're at a crossroads where something has got to change. And as she's linking with me, I'm being told that you want more dynamic force available to you. And that isn't to bend people to your will. That's not what she's saying. But it's to drive the energy of the work that you do further forward. Does this make sense to you, please? Thank you. Thank you. She's bringing in a gentleman that I feel may come over to the gentleman, please. Would you understand where there's slow down, where there's a military connection going back in time, please, sir? Thank you. Because this guy didn't just want to stand to attention. He's barking out orders in my ear as if I'm a raw recruit, I have to say to you. But can I also say, honourable was not a simple word in his book. Honourable was how he lived his life. Would you understand this? Thank you. And, the lady's getting very emotional. She quite likes him. I don't mean that in a bad way, but she likes the energy he vibrates, this honourableness, because he couldn't stand by and see a disservice done to anyone, anywhere. Do you understand? And I know you two have fought similar battles, because this is what he's telling me in your everyday life, sir. Can I say that to you?
Yes.
Now I can hear him laughing, sort of a deep, booming laugh. He said, mind you, if you had a stick in your hand at the time, you probably would have poked a few eyes out with it. Because, can I say, if I go back a few years, about 15, 20, the temper sometimes was very close to the surface. Would you understand that? That's all right. Don't worry. I've bribed them. They won't mention a word of this once they leave. Because he is admiring the adaptation that happened in your life. Thank you. Because he's laughing at me now. This guy would have been brought up traditional Christian faith, you understand? Because he said it wasn't exactly a revelation on the road to Damascus. He said we had to kick him a few times before he caught on. Would you understand that? Because I know for you, he's saying your mindset is very typical. Well, prove it. Don't just show me that. Let's have some concrete evidence. He said, and so we have to keep pushing him and trying until at last we'd got him hook, line and sinker. Thank you. As he says that, who was the fisherman you knew, sir? Because he literally cast a rod, and was reeling a fish in. So there's a gentleman in the spirit world who would have also gone, I don't know what, is that fly fishing? I've got no idea what it is. where they cast a rod. Thank you. You can't place it. I want you to look for an uncle on your father's side, because the gentleman, military gentleman, just said uncle to me. So I'm going to let you take your homework home with you, because he did that. And I've never fished for anything in my life, and I don't intend to start. But I want to go back to what they were saying right at the beginning. You're at the crux of a decision about how you drive it forward now. And I need to say, on the behalf of the spirit world, do not hesitate. That hard step is that first one. The moment you commit to driving this energy out there in the community, it will just go swimmingly. It really will, because they're smoothing the road in front of you. It's like looking at a mill pond. And, thank you, the lady just said, you're doing God's will. Nothing can go wrong. So, yeah, all right. Before I leave you, I've got to give you the month of March as having some connection to the lady. It must be birthday, anniversary, or passing, just as confirmation. And someone's tromping around behind me in boots. Who as a child used to always put on somebody else's boots and tromp around the house in them? Because I'm being shown a memory, please. And it's a small, you Sarah, was it in your Sarah?
No, but it's my auntie would have worn my dad's army boots.
Okay, because literally I've got this small child doing this round behind me, and it's quite off-putting because they're obviously 4 or 5 sizes too big for the child. So I'm just being given memory links to again verify for you. This isn't imagination. This isn't entertainment. This is God's action in practice. Okay, God bless you both. Thank you for working with me. Can I come to you, sir, please?
Yes, sure.
Thank you. I've got a lady building up from mother's side of the family, and I feel I'm going back 2 generations. So this has either got to be a grandmother or someone on grandmother's generation, okay?
Yeah.
On mum's side. Okay. She just leant over and kissed you on your cheek. He's a darling, this one. So I know there would have been a very strong emotional bond with this lady.
Yes.
And thank you. She's saying all the lovely old things grandmothers do. Apple of my eye, couldn't put a foot wrong. You know, I'm saying to her, oh, shut up, please. You'll embarrass the poor guy if you keep on. But she saw in you a spark from a very young age, she's telling me. And the only way I can prove that to you is to say to you, you also knew there was a connection from a very young age. She wasn't just Nan or Granny or whatever you chose to call her. It was like the two of you had known each other before. Do you understand this?
Very much so, yes.
Yeah, and I have to say on her behalf, she's verifying that feeling for you. There had been previous lives, there had been previous experiences. She said, and we decided that this time we'd take the roles that we have taken. She said, and I'm sorry I left you a bit earlier than you wanted me to. But she said, now I can work unencumbered. So I know this lady is telling me that her health and her physical state really was struggling quite badly. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And, all right, darling, I hear you. She said to me, I was so tired, I had to go home. Do you understand that? I didn't want to, but I had to. She said, thank you. You like dancing, don't you? Because she just said to me, it was the end of the dance and my feet were killing me. That's how she's describing the end of her life. And I know if she says that, it was my time to go. But she said, now, fighting fit. She said, and I'm going to be there with you. Now, I know you're already on your spiritual pathway, not because you're here in the church, because she's showing me your energy field. And I know there's a big heart in you. And I need to say on her behalf, do not let people use and abuse you because of that compassion. Do you understand?
Very much so.
Good, because she's going to come along and clip you around the ear every time you do something wrong or you get taken advantage of, because she said we've given you that big compassion, that huge energy in your heart to put to good use, not to feel sorry for every Tom, Dick or Harry that flutters their eyelashes at you. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, because she says you can be such a soft touch at times. She's like this, you know, he doesn't always see them in their true colours. Thank you. And I'm saying to her, but with the saying, eternal optimists, we want to see the best in everyone, don't we? She said, all right, I'm going to put a cross on the bad ones so you can see them. So I know that would make it easier. But I know what she's saying is she'll work with vibration so that when you meet people that you need perhaps to be cautious with, that vibration's going to be a bit jarring, okay? And you're working very much energetically anyway. There's a lot you do instinctively in your life at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, she just said you don't read as much as you should do, you know, and she's not talking about the newspapers or the magazines. She's talking about understanding how your own mediumship, psychism and healing and all that works. Do you understand?
Very much. I mean, it's interesting because I've literally just got a couple of books out of the cupboard this week, and like I will read it. I will read this book. Like one was A Course in Miracles, one was like called The Golden Present, which is like more of a spiritual book, and I've been trying to just set them out. So
Yeah, don't just look at them, sit down with them and open them, okay? Because she said, you don't need A Course in Miracles, leave that to the divine intelligence, they know what they're doing, you're just an apprentice, dear, she said. But understand that we move energy, we create miracles from working with that divine presence. Now, I don't know if you're involved in healing per se, but you have a very strong listening skill about you that's very healing to people who need to offload. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Because she's laughing, she said, you won't believe the stories he gets told sometimes. So I know she eavesdrops, because it's like people, they want to hand you their problems.
Yeah.
Because once I've given it to you, I don't have to worry about it. Now it's gone. The pain has left me. And she said, that is still mediumship. It's a form of healing, being there for those in need. Right, okay, she's just changing it. Did this lady have a dog, please?
She did it one time.
Okay, because there's a small energy running around you. You see, I'm trying to work out what it is. So I know that there's an animal that would have linked with it on the spirit side of life. Because she tells me that you do sometimes sense something moving around in your accommodation, and you think, what was that? Did I see something out the corner of my eye?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say to you, it's this little dog, because I think this little dog's a bit nosy.
Yeah.
And I can almost, you know, dogs, I can't do it, darling, I can't do it, don't. But you know, they snuffle, a bit like pigs.
Yeah.
I can hear that sound around you, so if you hear this snuffling at night, don't worry, you haven't got some strange creature, it's just a spirit dog making itself known to you. Okay, all right, now...
We have that quite with animals. I have a cat that I used to have that comes in, and also a couple of dogs that I've just become aware of in my mind every now and then.
Okay. Well, if there's an almighty fight, you're going to have to separate them, okay? All right. No, joking apart. They were just drawing me to your left shoulder, and I need to say to you, around you on the earth plane at the moment, there is someone with a great need on some level, because the left side of our aura is to do with karmic issues, things we bring from past lives. And it's not your problem, but they're telling me you are shouldering someone's problems on the earth plane at the moment. So someone has to be giving you a lot of grief, a lot of load, a lot of worry on their behalf. Not yours, but on their behalf. And what she's saying to me is what they really need is some serious hands-on healing. Because whatever this person is struggling with, it isn't just relevant to this life. There is a pattern there that comes from previous existences, okay? So the healing needs to be much deeper than just listening.
Yeah, well, my mum's just literally had an operation for a brain tumour, and she's been very ill the last year, and things are still happening medically.
You can ask for her to go on healing lists, and the healing group in any church will send the healing out when they do their services. And please don't feed the medium, because we're all on diets these days, and you're not to tell me things, all right? You're not to tell any of us things, just yes or no.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's all right, because they talk about a happy medium. We're never happy because we're always overweight, all right? So don't feed the medium. All right, okay. Just as I was leaving, I was aware of the month of April standing behind you. So there has to be a connection with the month of April, birthday, anniversary, or passing.
Yes.
All right, so just know that they're around you. It's time for you also to start moving forward in that energy. We're all at a crux at the moment, but get on with it. Don't mess around, okay? God bless you. Thank you for working with me. Ah, Paula, the energy's shot to you. May I speak to you, please? Okay. All right. I have a gentleman connecting with me, and he's quite a slim-built gentleman. I'd say probably 5'10", 5'11". I don't think I can quite make 6 foot in height. But his personality as he came in was very gracious, didn't want to disturb me, quite apologetic. So his nature would have been very much like that. Oh, are you busy? I'll come back later then. And I'm saying, don't you dare leave now. You're here, stay. But I have a man of great integrity. Can I say that to you? You know, when we see those spirit energy as it truly is, it shows up all the faults. And this guy, thank you, darling, he said, I had them, but not in his soul. That integrity was right through his DNA. Do you understand that? And I know that for him to have witnessed any form of cruelty would be so abhorrent, it would physically make him feel unwell. Do you understand? As he's connecting with you, he's also laughing at you because you're a softie, aren't you? He's showing me your energy, and you're the sort that would take home every stray cat or dog or human being given the option. And he said, except for the odd spider or slug, you draw the line there because you're not too fussed about them. But he's saying, but it has cost you in the past, hasn't it? Because it's very hard for you to see duplicity in people. Can I put it that way? And once you've welcomed them to your heart and you've taken care of them and they then behave inappropriately, you think, where did that come from? And he's saying it saddens you more than anything. It doesn't make you angry or vengeful, but it saddens you. And he tells me you almost then add them to a prayer list, which over the years has got longer and longer, hasn't it? Because unfortunately we do meet a lot of twits in life. They're human, we've got to meet them. And he's saying he is so pleased that you can still have that compassion even when they've hurt you. But, and this is his only but, you have to be aware fiscally. Can I say it that way? Because I know that if you're not, you will be hurt, all right? So please remember, his concern is your future and your protection. Now, the name of Mary or Mari came very faintly over the top. All right. And he talked to me about a Henry, please. So I think Henry's going to be a compatriot of his, all right? So you might have to do a bit of research in that direction. You know, he wasn't a spiritualist per se, but he was intrigued by certain things. And he said to me, he laughed, he said, you lot say, you know, watch out for the bumps in the night. He said, I wouldn't watch out for them, I'd be out the door like a shot, he said. I always thought you were a little bit silly, that you'd wait for the phenomena. But he says that with great fun. He's not being critical. Because he said the one thing that intrigued him most about having an understanding of eternal life and our role in it was how much positive energy you put out. He took his hat off to you, you know that, don't you? He did, he admired you, because he said your capacity to love was something he'd not witnessed in anybody else. Like, it's not saying it's not there, but he'd not witnessed it. Now, I know that you miss him, that goes without saying, but he said you also know that he's around you a lot of the time. He said, because I try not to move things, because I used to get told off when I did that. He said, but I just touch things again, because I like to feel the vibration of them. And I know that in the bedroom, sometimes the curtains are wafting just a little bit. And he's telling me it's his energy. He's just trying to get your attention that little bit, because he's laughing. He said, tell him what you always tell people. If there's a draft, check the windows open, because it's not spirit, okay? But when the window's shut and the curtains move, yes, it's him, and he's sending you his total love, and he's got quite emotional. I want to hug you. Do you understand that? I want to hug you. Okay. All right. Month of January came across your head then. And Easter. I don't know where Easter is this year. Is it a March or April one? Okay, so there must be something about Easter time that has a memory link, some sort of vibrancy for you too. And he's just given you a bunch of beautiful daffodils. So I know that that time of year for him was quite special. The brightness, the yellow, the promise of new life, okay? So God bless you. Thank you very much for working with me. Can I come to the lady on her own over here, please, sweetheart? May I speak to you? Yes. I won't bite. He fed me 2 poached eggs on toast, so I'm fine, okay? I've been aware of a lady standing on your left-hand side since we started the service. And I want to say this lady has a sadness about her energy. And I feel I've got a family vibration here She doesn't feel like mum, it's not that close. I'd need to take her slightly to the side of the family, so I'd be looking at an aunt or second cousin, something on that vibration. But what really caught my attention was her sadness. And there was one point earlier in the service where you literally did this, and I thought those weren't your tears, they were hers. And you just must have felt something, and you just literally did that as she was connecting with you. So you know who the lady is. All right, in you come, darling. I want to say she wasn't morose by nature, but I know her passing. She had a contract, she's telling me, with him upstairs, and he shortchanged her. That's how she's putting it. So I know this lady had a sense of humour, can I put it that way? Because she said, it wasn't that she didn't want to go, because at some point we all go, but she said, I hadn't even packed my suitcase. So this lady's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, do you understand? And I know that she would have been good fun when she was well. But if I say to you, the last 3 years of her life, her health was just literally doing this. Does that make sense to you? There was no sudden pit, but it was this slow decline, those are her words, this slow decline into the abyss. That's how she's putting it. And she said, I could no longer see any joy around me. Does this make sense to you? And what was overwhelming her was this sadness at what she was leaving behind, who she was leaving behind. Thank you. She said there was so much unfinished business. Do you understand? And I know that as she says that, she's also talking about you. Can I say the two of you had a very similar mindset? Would you understand this? Yeah. And I know that often she'd have a train of thought. She'd start to say it and you'd go, actually, I was just about to say that to you. Or, do you know, I was thinking that only the other day. There was this wonderful connection on a mental level the two of you shared. Though she tells me you have the stronger temper than she does. So I know you would have spoken up more if you were displeased about something. Now, as I'm linking with you, I'm going with this speaking up because what she's saying to me is, you've had to stand up for others in your life, haven't you? I almost want to be, excuse me, judge, jury and executioner. Do you understand? There have been times you've had to take on other people's fights. Not because you didn't have your own battles, but because you saw that they were not up to the job. And she's very proud that you had the courage to stand forward and do that for other people. She said, because you know too, where those situations are concerned, there was an awful lot went, not my problem, talk to the hand. Do you understand this? And she said, but you were determined to see right being done. And as she tells me that, you've also studied in the past, I won't say deeply, but what is right, what is wrong, what people can get away with not. We were talking about employment contracts, terms and conditions, that sort of thing. Do you understand what she's saying to you? And you're not daft. Now, you're going to get up pretty early in the morning to get one past you. That's what she's telling me. Now, having said that, you've also been talking to Spirit about you and your needs at the moment, haven't you? Do you understand? And it's private. It's totally private. We have no idea what you tell them. I mean, you could be saying now, strike that woman down dead. She's a twit. I wouldn't have a problem with that. I tell you what, I'm getting too old for this game. No, joking apart. What she's saying is you've been seeking your own guidance. Now, I know you are very aware of your doorkeeper, aren't you? Do you know what I mean by your doorkeeper, your guardian angel by another name? You're aware of that energy. And I feel from what she's telling me, you're starting to own it, to allow it to connect with you, to listen to that subtle vibration that it brings when, you know, you're thinking, do I do this? Do I go here? Do I go there? She's laughing. She said, don't ask it for the lottery numbers because it doesn't do that. This is about direction, spiritual direction. And I know that this is the time that this doorkeeper, this guardian angel, is going to come very close into your auric field because you've said, whatever God is, whoever God is, I now need to know what it is I'm here for. This lady's... Do any of you remember that Monty Python film, The Meaning of Life, or The Life of Brian? And... Sorry, I have some pretty wicked helpers with me. By that I mean cheeky. And they're taking me to that scene where there's the three on the cross and they're always singing, you know, what's the song? That's exactly. Because That's what the spirit world wants you to do. No matter how dark it feels to you at times, it isn't. It's the emotional energy we create getting in the way of spirit's influence. So please let that doorkeeper come in. Let them work with you, because there is great joy in this work. Don't be cheeky. And a lot of criticism, she just said. Yeah, they'll go, oh, that medium, I didn't like her on Sunday. She was too flippant. I have the greatest respect for the spirit world and the deepest love for them, because every time I've hit a dark patch, they're the ones that have picked me up and moved me forward. So please let that doorkeeper come in and help you now. And when are you going to start developing more critically as a medium, not playing at it, eh?
Thinking about it.
No, don't think about it. You need a mentor, right? Would you please have a word with that lady at some point? You need a mentor. You need someone who works with your energy, takes you forward. You know, the spirit world love volunteers.
Really?
Yeah, all right.
Don't remember putting my hand on.
Neither do I. But the moment our energy field says to them, actually, I do need to do something now, they're in like a shot. And you've got to remember, you agreed that at this point in your life, you would open that door. Okay, I'm being told to shut up and move on because there's two gentlemen that need to be spoken to. So, God bless, thank you. I've got to come to you first, sir. Lady in the spirit world, she'd have been like me, a bit loud. Would you understand that, please?
Yes.
Thank you. A bit loud. You're not supposed to say she's loud. Can I come down? I don't want to shout, but I want you to be able to hear me. Okay. So I'll speak more slowly and hopefully a bit more clearly, all right? Because this lady was like me. She'd make sure she got her point of view across. Do you understand that? And even when it meant being an inch from your nose when she told you. So she was a bit of a character. I wouldn't have crossed her personally, not because she was cruel, but she had a very short fuse at times, do you understand?
Yes, yes.
And if there was a wooden spoon in her hand, you need to duck because it would be, what? And she'd have thrown it without even thinking about it, because there's no malice in this lady's heart. Do you understand? Oh dear, she's got very tearful now. She said she loves you to bits and pieces. Do you understand that?
Yes, thank you.
And you know at night time she comes and she's doing this to you. She's just stroking your face. Do you understand?
Yes.
And you feel her at night because she said, at last I can get into myself. Thank you. She's laughing. She said he has such an entourage around him at times, you know. All these girlies keeping an eye on him. Do you understand? True, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. She's not daft, you know. She sees what's going on. But she just said, if I could have stayed, you know I would have done. Okay?
Yes.
But you knew it was her time, didn't you?
I thought it was, yes.
She said you knew. And I almost feel you didn't want to let go of her hand.
No.
You wanted to hold on and hold on.
Yeah.
That she said you couldn't hold me back and I had to go.
We couldn't say goodbye.
Well, you emotionally kept that connection alive. And she knew that, all right? So
Thank you.
know that, because she's making me laugh now, she said, your mother was waiting for me when I got to the other side. As if to say, you took your time, didn't you? So I know that they were ready for her to go.
Yes.
And I know from what you said, your separation was very hard, but she said you still stayed connected to it. She felt your energy until she made her transition, okay? God bless, know she loves you. I've
Thank
got
you.
to come to this cheeky young man. So I better come back up. Thank you. Do you know, these gentlemen with cheeky wives amaze me? Because you've got a bit of a character too in the spirit world, haven't you?
Yes.
Oh yeah, and she loves words, she's telling me. Do you write, please, sir? Do you do poems or something?
No.
Why not? Because she's literally bombarding my head with information, with words, with energy. You write, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, but you write very gentle stuff. Your wife wants to write cheeky stuff, all right? But in a sense of fun, about the brilliance of the flowers, the sunlight. And I feel it's almost like she wants you to record her memories but in the context of times you would have spent together. So please don't think there's not a need for those words, because there always is, sir. Now, I have to say to you, she kept you in good order. Do you understand that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. She made me laugh. She said in a previous life she would have made an amazing sergeant major. Do you understand? Because she's like this, you know, she's saying to me, chest out, back straight. And I like this lady's orderly organisation. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because, you know, people say you can eat dinner off people's floors. In her house, you probably could. Not that she would encourage you to do it, but she was, I want to say she was an absolute whirlwind about neatness, tidiness, cleanness, do you understand? And you would not have left the house without matching socks, proper tie. She would have made sure that you looked the part, sir. Do you understand? Thank you. Do you wear a cap at times?
Yes.
It's about time it was washed then, she said, that dirty old cap. Because she suddenly did an Andy cap. She said, dirty old cap. So you better have a look at it, okay? And perhaps give it a quick brush up with some, you know, liquid, washing up liquid. All right. Can I say to you too, though, she's as much fun now as she was when she was physically alive. Her personality has not changed whatsoever. And I know you sense her teasing. Even if you're not sure what she's teasing you about, you can feel her humour around you at times, can't you?
Yes.
And she said, you're not getting rid of me, sunshine. She said, when we took those vows, we said till death do us part. Well, you're not dead yet, she said, so I'm still coming back to keep an eye on you, okay? I know this lady misses you, and I know you miss her. So take a moment when it's quiet and sit and write her thoughts down, because she's going to take you back down memory lane, places you visited, scenes you looked at, because it's like a picture in the mind, but it's in the heart, okay? So God bless you, darling. Know she's around you, and get that cat washed, okay? And now I'm being called to time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry I didn't get round more of you, but thank you for working with me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. Absolutely beautiful. Which are a few notices for the week. This coming Wednesday at 3 o'clock, we have Roy McCabe will be taking our service. Saturday between 10 and 4, we have the healing workshop. Those of you, I know there's quite a few people in today who have signed up for that. Just a little reminder, that's the Fiona Parry Dodd workshop this Saturday. Next Sunday at 11 a.m, we welcome Kes Eggleton from Gloucestershire to be taking our service. Thursday the 17th, we have Brian Walker here, the psychic surgeon, psychic healer. There are a couple of appointments still available for him during the daytime. And he will also be giving a talk in the evening about how he came into being a psychic surgeon healer, and be giving a demonstration of that as well. Friday the 18th, Fiona and Paul are back with us, and they're going to offer a selection of 1-hour appointments. And these will include spiritual and sound vibration healing sessions combined. So if you'd like any more info on that, please give me a shout afterwards. Then on Saturday the 19th, we will have the new commencement date of the Darren Turner workshop. Apologies again to everybody when yesterday didn't happen. I'm not going to do this, but I'm going to do this because it's funny. I refuse to say the psychic workshop is cancelled due to unforeseen circumstances. Out of everything that was going through my head yesterday, I thought that is the one thing I'm not going to say. But I've said it, and I feel better for saying it. So anyway, this will recommence on the 19th of, sorry Darren, I know you're watching, on the 19th of March. During that time, we will convene when the replacement session, which is agreeable to all, to take place. And then a week next Sunday, on the 20th, we have David Powell, CSNU, here taking our 11 o'clock service. That concludes the notices. I would just like to invite Elaine now to deliver the closing blessing. Thank you, my dear.
Can we come together once more, dear friends? Divine creative force, we send our love and gratitude to the spirit world for their continuing guidance, affection and protection. And we ask that those who did not receive a message will still be surrounded by that love and guided through the coming days to be safe, to be happy, and to be protected. And dear friend, let each of us be able to do what we can for this community at large, whether it be by thought, by prayer, or by action. We ask that you enable each one of us to bring light into the shadows and darkness and to bring hope back into people's lives. Amen.
Amen. Elaine, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful service. Well done for last night. It was a very engaging talk, and thank you so much for not swearing today. I should have heard a conversation over the eggs this morning. I didn't have to coddle them, they coddled themselves. Elaine, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here, because I always say, you know, you haven't come here to watch us on the platform, you've come here to make this service. We are each unique, and those energies and vibrations are joined together. So well done to all of you for making this morning, as always, so special. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. Go out, enjoy things, let go of some of the fear if you can. Just give it a rest for 5 minutes. I know it's easier said than done, but we do need to just lose it for 5 minutes. All right? Have a great day, blessed day. Look after yourselves. Thank you.
Thank you.